Hello everybody, welcome back. We are on week 2 of our October 2020 Perfectly Plaid card series. This is video for week 2, card 2. So week 2, card 2 is what we're working on this evening. And as you saw a tiny sneak peek, this is the card we're going to do. Very, very simple and elegant, and you will see that as we go. So go ahead and open your envelope and pull out the pre-cut pieces and parts. We are still using the Memories and More foiled cards and envelopes, so these are pre-decorated for you. I will just be using a plain Whisper white card base today, just because I ran out of the actual card bases. And I wanted to make sure that you guys got them first. So don't forget, place your orders for those as well. You will also need your stamp set, which is the Perfectly Plaid stamp set. And you will also need your Pine Tree Punch. You will need your DIY stamp positioner. You will also need your shaded spruce ink pad, some dimensionals. You will need your gold glitter gems. Don't forget those. Some adhesive, and you're also going to need a block this time. This one you will need both the stamp positioner and the block. So let's go ahead and do all of our stamping first. I'm going to start moving some things out of the way. So in your kit, you will have a piece of designer series paper, a circle, a stitch circle, and a piece of real red cardstock is that color. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to work on our circles first. So you notice that your circle here is going to be a little bit smaller than your stitch circle, so they will eventually layer over each other. So now what we are going to do in order to get our stamp positioned where we want it to be, we are first going to stamp on a piece of scratch paper. It could be copy paper, it could be your plastic grid template that you have, whatever you need to make this work for you, because your plastic template you can just wipe it off once we're done. But again, the plastic template is a non-porous surface, so if you do it on there, it's going to be a little more difficult. So I would recommend just a piece of copy paper rather than the grid that's laminated. So you're just going to ink up that tree image and stamp that tree image down. So that's going to go right there in the center. Then you're going to take your larger circle, the stitched circle, and you are going to line that up so that that tree lines up right inside of that, and then you're going to slide this one under it so that none of the edges are showing all the way around. And then you're going to lift off the template and you're going to place your magnet at the bottom, because remember, we don't have the little tree trunk on yet. We are going to need to pull that stamp out, because we will be using it just not until after we've stamped our tree. We're going to just stamp that separately. So now we're going to ink that tree up again, and we know where that tree is going to land because we've already lined it up. Give that a good rub. There we go. And now we're going to move our magnet to the top, and we shall ink up our tree trunk. And I'm actually, before I do that, let me turn this over, because mine for some reason seems to ink okay on here, but when I put it on the cardstock, I don't know if you can see that, but it is very, very inky, and it doesn't show the detail of that stamp. So let's just do it again. That's why there's always two sides to the paper. Even I have embellishment opportunities from time to time. I'm going to go ahead and ink up my stamp. This time I am going to use just a piece of tissue here, and I'm going to blot just a little bit of that ink off, but not the whole thing. It's actually going to give it texture of the tissue paper, I think. Yeah, that's a little better. You can now, I'll hold that up better. You can see a little more of that detail. All right, so now we can remove this. We're gonna clean our stamp and our DIY positioner and put those back. We're actually done with them for today. It's the only thing we needed the positioner for is to line up that tree where we wanted it. So we're gonna toss that out, move this aside, put our stamp back. And then we're gonna open up our ink spot. And then we are going to stamp our tree trunk, going right up into that tree as such. So here's your little tree trunk. All right, I'm going to set the stamp positioner aside. Grab my well-loved baby wipe over here and clean off my stamp. And then I'm going to put my tree trunk back in the case so we don't lose anything. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to bring in our dimensionals, and then around the edges of that circle, we're going to add a couple of dimensionals. And then now I'm going to take that stitch circle and we are going to line it up so that that tree kind of centers itself right inside our punched image. No matter if our punched image is off center a little bit, that's okay. Does not matter. We just want to create that height or shadow between the two layers. Then we are going to take our designer series paper. So we're going to set this aside. We're going to close up our ink for just a moment. We're going to take our designer series paper and put some adhesive on that. I'm still using the leftover snail adhesive just to use up what I have. No other particular reason, because I don't believe in investing in a new product until I've used up all of what I have of the old one, except for things like paper. Designer series paper is the only exception to that. All right, so we are now going to adhere also our strip of real red cardstock kind of in the center of that. Then on the back of our image that we have our stamped Christmas tree, we're going to place some adhesive on that and then just lay that right down. So we only have dimensionals in one place. We're going to now grab our gold glitter rhinestones or our gold glitter gems or our gold gilded rhinestones. If you have some of those work as well. And then this time I'm using 4 because there are one of each size. And I'm just going to place one of each size of those gems right on there, and that is going to be our bling, our ornaments. All right, so now we're going to grab our big stamp. I'm going to move the punch out of the way because I've pre-punched everything for you guys. So this stamp in the stamp set is going to be right here. It's going to be hoping that your busy year comes together in Christmas cheer. You're actually going to, and I'll get the gasp out of the way first, cut your stamp. So you're going to cut that Christmas cheer right off. So follow right along that. I've already cut mine and I've mounted them on opposite sides. So this side is Christmas cheer, and then this side is the other words going in the opposite direction. All right, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to start off with hoping that your busy year comes together in. And I'm just going to go ahead and ink this side up. And we're going to stamp that down in the top middle. Let that paper drink the ink, but don't smush it. If you smush it, your letters are going to get wonky. That's an official term. All right, we're going to then clean off that stamp. And then we're going to move over to Christmas cheer. We're going to ink that one up. And we're going to stamp that one down at the bottom in the middle. All right, and there you have it. Now, yours is going to actually look like this. See if I can... I never know where to hold things to get them into the camera right. There we go. Closer. We're getting better. There we go. So this is what yours will look like. Mine just doesn't have the foil detail on it because I used actual Whisper White paper. So there are the differences of the two side by side. As you can see, I will go ahead and clean this up and I'll see you for another video soon. Love you guys. Bye-bye.